Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another week of Pro Wrestling Tonight right here on IndieQuebec.com. It's the Prez once again with my co-host, magnificent Dre Breeze. How you doing,
What
Dre?
up? Good, good. How you doing?
Doing good, man. I'd say it's been quite an eventful week in wrestling as we build towards WrestleMania, except none of the interesting things are really that much happening in WWE.
No, probably except for the Cody thing, nothing like really has been
We're still waiting
boiling
to
up.
see with the Cody. Yeah, so apparently he's officially signed. So it's gonna be Seth Rollins. Yeah, let's just get into some WWE. It's gonna be Seth Rollins against Cody, apparently at WrestleMania.
Yeah,
Um, AEW, while it does have a following, a big following, of course, they still don't get as big of ratings as WWE. So like a lot of people, him coming back, I think they're gonna be like, why are they making such a big deal of like Stardust coming back?
yeah. But I don't know if he's coming back as Stardust. Is he coming
No,
back
no,
as
no.
Star?
But I mean, people are still gonna remember him as like the mid Carter he was in WWE, you know?
Exactly, in a way. But I also heard the contract is strictly 14 days or something like that. Like it's an in WrestleMania appearance. Then he might appear on Raw, but there's nothing guaranteed after that. Because he said something in an interview about how he's still the VP of AEW or whatnot. And that's what he plans on doing for the rest of his career. That's what he wants to do in his life or whatnot. I was like,
It's
okay.
very bizarre happenings.
It's really weird. Like, and then I got my other friend who keeps saying they're working together, they're working together. You're all fooled, they're working together. So I'm like,
They
I don't
could
know.
be. I mean, say WWE wanted to sell their company, it would it would be definitely more worth it if you have competition because it's a way to like boost all ratings because like WWE was never as strong in the ratings as it was when like WCW was around, right?
Definitely, definitely.
So
It was.
maybe like it's like it's like they needed competition, so they could be working together. I mean, I know Tony
I
Khan would definitely like be open to working with WWE.
well, hey,
WWE, if they're gonna have Cody wrestle, this could be something interesting. It
like
really could be
I,
something interesting. I
it is.
wrote,
I don't think it'll ever be a completely open door because the problem is with WWE is they refuse to use the word wrestler.
yeah,
They've created a universe instead of just living in the present. But then they live in the present for other shit. Like, oh, the musicians that are up to date, the people from television shows that are up to date, the actors from movies, everything is up to date like it's the real world, but it's called a universe. And you're not supposed to know the wrestler's old name and his
yeah,
old character, but you're supposed to know that
like
Johnny
Butch,
Knoxville has a new movie. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah.
it's so weird. It's really flip floppy. That's so to me, that's the problem with the revolving door. They might invite talent to come back every now and then or whatever, and then they have to ask permission and blah blah blah. But I don't think they'll ever shake hands with a company and open the door and have storylines
No,
because then
no, not to that extent.
that would fuck up their whole fucking last 20 years of them trying to make you forget that it's wrestling
Yeah,
and
yeah,
be
exactly.
and be
At a
called
certain
sports
point,
entertainment. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
at a certain point, it's like Pepsi and Coke.
yeah.
That's what it is. They're both sodas. They're both dark sodas, but it's two different sodas, two different companies, two big entities that, in a way, are competing. They're
But it's
competing
also
for
like,
people.
um, that's a marketing strategy because it's like it's a psychological thing. It's like it's giving you the impression that you have to make a choice. It's like, what do you like more, Coke or Pepsi? It's like, what about the choice of neither? You know?
Well, that's me.
But it's
Yeah,
like
me,
they're
me.
bypassing that choice. They're bypassing that question of neither by making you choose between two things.
Yeah, by saying it's two different, completely different entertainment types. You know, it's like you either like this or you like that because the
Yeah.
two are different. But then you see AEW do the thing with Jericho, how they call themselves sports entertainers now. So, and then you have Regal nonstop mansplaining and using the word wrestler intensely because he was told not to say it over there, and that fucking pissed him off beyond. He keeps saying it. No, the wrestlers, the wrestlers, the wrestlers. So maybe
I
business
think
wise,
that's
Tony Khan could be working with the WWE, but the wrestlers are under contract. I think they have the impression that they're in a competition against the other guys.
yeah.
Like at the
Well,
end
like
of the day,
let's assume that they're probably not working together. I mean, like it's a theory, but like probably not, right? So
probably
I
not because
just yeah.
a lot of guys that are in the company in AEW left. Most
No,
of them,
exactly.
I'd say 60% of the guys that left WWE to go to AEW, there's only like 40% of them that had left amicably, that were like, oh, you know, Vince helped me out. I still like Vince. I love Vince. But most of the guys that went to AEW went there salty and very fucking unhappy and very anti
Yeah, exactly.
WWE in their Twitter before. So you know what I'm saying? That's what makes me say they're not really working together. They might take a business arrangement every now and then, like WWE's done with Impact or when they were TNA for footage or
For
for,
the
you know
Hall
what
of
I'm
Fame and
saying?
stuff, yeah.
And stuff like that. But at the end of the day, they're competition, you know, and the
Yeah.
ratings are ratings. And one guy watching the other show instead of watching your show is money out of your pocket into his pocket. And it's all about money at the end of the day. They're carnies. It's all about money.
Basically, yeah, that's it, man. So yeah, I just wanted to point something out here. Like a lot of people, I just want to put this into perspective. Okay, AEW's ratings now, it's always floating around 1 million. It dips below sometimes for Dynamite, I'm talking about. And
Yeah.
sometimes it goes higher. I think 1.4 was their highest ever rating, and that was their first ever episode. They never got higher than their first ever episode, which is really not
Yeah.
good. And it goes up like when Punk debuted, when Danielson debuted, but then it goes always back down to like 1 million and even dips lower. But I just want to put this in perspective. Nitro in year 2000, when they're like, this is so shit, we have to pull the plug on it, was still getting 3.3 million people watching it per week.
Yeah. Yeah. But
Three
you can't.
times more people were watching it on the same network.
Yeah. But what you have to say to yourself is there's a difference, though. This is where when people jump down the throats of like Ring of Honor or Impact, when they say, fuck, they only get like 150,000 viewers on television.
Yeah, the internet now. We have
Now
to
you
take
have
into account the
YouTube,
internet.
you have the internet. A lot of people don't even have cable TV in their fucking house anymore. They have
Exactly.
Netflix. They have Netflix, or they have Roku, or they have Apple TV, or you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? And these
And that's
things
why
don't.
the ratings are also somewhat obscured. Like they say that NXT, it has like the rating, the average person is like over 50 who watches it. To me, that's just impossible. You know what I think that is? It's people, it's like young people who still live at their parents' house who are over 50. They're like in their 20s, but still live with their parents. Those are the
Yeah,
people that watch it, but the people that are paying the cable bill are the people over 50. The rating
yeah,
system is
exactly.
like this antiquated
It,
thing.
exactly, and it's like Doc Gallows was on a wrestling thing recently with another guy. I'm trying to remember, Rocky Romero, and they were
Yeah.
talking about New Japan and Impact working together, and AEW buying Ring of Honor, and they were saying they were talking about how people don't realize how many people consume Impact by internet. By because
Yeah.
they own Impact Plus, or because they just
Watching it
watch
on Twitch.
the YouTube channel or Twitch. We're talking maybe what 27,000, 50,000 people are watching on Twitch, maybe 15,000, and then you have the 150,000 on TV. Then you have the 500,000 that consume it on YouTube every week
Yeah.
after, because their numbers on YouTube are crazy.
And
Like
when they
sometimes
went
they.
on when they brought in Kenny Omega, even their Twitch numbers like went really high.
Yeah, exactly. So then you're counting this together, and then you're reaching 500,000 people.
And all the
So
people
they
that pirate
actually,
it.
Exactly. So then you have actually like 500,000 people watching the
Easily.
Thursday night episode of Impact, but maybe on Friday because they pre-recorded it. Maybe they have an illegal fucking internet box now. And how many people have Android boxes and have illegal cable companies
There you
that,
go.
somebody's
Or
feed? So they're watching it.
downloading it like the day after or something.
Exactly. Like these are all things that you can't take into account when you go, oh, WCW had 3.3 million people. Yeah, because that's all they
That's
had
the only way
was
you could watch it.
3.3 million. Yeah. You're not talking about people in India who watch it, in
Well, back in
Russia
the
who
day, there
watch
was
it.
pirated cable, but like, still,
Yeah.
it
It's a
wasn't that
different thing
popular.
now.
Today, a lot of people pirate shit for sure. It's like
Exactly.
fucking Pirates of the Caribbean out here on the internet.
For real.
Yeah.
So,
So
so
yeah, man. Moving on in some other news, let's talk a bit about some local news. Um, as we record this, already tomorrow, on Friday, I mean, C4 Fantastic Voyage. It's not in Quebec, but it's right across the border in Ottawa. C4, I used to go to a lot of their shows. Really awesome fed. Really fun.
yeah, solid federation. Yeah.
Yeah, very awesome. They used to come to Montreal. I hope they eventually would do shows back in Montreal. I'll mention a couple interesting matches. Biff Busick, also known as Oni Lorcan, is going to be wrestling there,
Nice.
taking on Kevin Blackwood, who's been on AEW Dark before. He's
Been on Impact too. Yeah, he was
been
on
on
Impact a
Impact. Yeah,
couple
he's made his
times.
name around. He's been around.
He is. I'm surprised he hasn't got a contract yet
Me
on a
too.
full-time basis.
I thought he would get signed in AEW like Garcia because him and Garcia were quite good friends.
Yeah. Well,
Huff
maybe
is
it's just
also on the show, who's also part of that Buffalo contingent. They're all trained by the Blade.
all trained by Pepper Parks. That was his name
Good
back
trainer,
in the day.
I must say.
Yeah, good wrestler. I mean, at the end of the day.
Yeah, he is. He keeps himself in shape, everything, his gimmick. So we'll get more into those guys later for sure. TDT against his team Violence is Forever. A Japanese wrestler Mayung Jae Lee against Josh Alexander, who's going to be there at C4 tomorrow night in Ottawa. So, I mean, got Biff Busick, you got Josh Alexander, pretty big show. And then the local guys, of course, who always tear it up. They tear that
totally
place
worth
up.
the price of admission. So
they do. We want to wish a prompt rétablissement to one of our favorites, Sexy Eddie, who broke a bone in his ankle. He won't be wrestling for a couple months, but for sure he'll be back soon. One of my favorites, one of the coolest guys in Quebec wrestling, definitely a legend. And Quebec wrestling wouldn't be the same without Sexy Eddie bleeding at CZW. And not only that, for how fucking awesome he is and how many bitches he's fucked. Montreal wouldn't be the same.
Seriously. Yeah.
So let's go on to, a little bit of controversy here. Unfortunately, I don't like to talk that bad about the local scene, but IWS had a big show last week at M Telus. Apparently capacity sold out. That's cool. Apparently the show was very good. It was of 2.0 to Montreal, but there's some controversy online that I want to get to because we talk about the truth. And they advertised Bailey and Veda Scott for quite some time for this show. Fans online the week upcoming to the show are saying, hey, how come we're seeing Bailey and Veda Scott advertised on the West Coast that weekend? Are they going to be at IWS? Are they going to be on the West Coast? They're advertised for a West Coast show the night before too. So are they going to not do both of those and only come to Montreal? So people are starting to wonder. They're not getting answers. And then when they get there, Veda Scott, who's the IWS Women's Champion, Mike Bailey, who's IWS Champion, aren't on the show, which, I think that they had time definitely to let people know that they wouldn't be there. And Bailey is a big enough star now that like people are legit disappointed. Like the only reason I'm really mentioning this is because people are really bitching about it online. And yeah, it's not cool. But other than that, we heard that the show was very cool, and hopefully that they don't do that kind of stuff, because that stuff can pass when you're like a local indie, because that, like
Yeah.
the guys are getting
Like
paid
they
maybe
can
like 20
understand,
bucks.
Yeah.
If the guy had to like do overtime at work and he's getting paid 200 bucks more instead of the 20 bucks, people are like, fuck, whatever. Joe Blow number 8 is gonna fucking fill in and whatever.
Yeah.
But IWS,
When
I
it-
mean, you're on TV now. You're at MTELUS. Bailey, a lot of people probably paid to see Bailey. Like Bailey is like killing it on the indies. If anyone follows GCW or Impact, they would be fucking stoked to see fucking Bailey, and he's your champion.
Something weird happened
Rant
too,
over,
though. Like,
but you talk now, yes.
even even in Impact, something happened recently. He was pulled from the X division match that's supposed to happen soon. There's an X division match, and they pulled him out of the match. So I don't know if that has to do with the fact that he can't be there. He hurt himself. I don't know, man. Like, to tell you the truth, I know he was on Impact last week.
Yeah,
but that's pre-recorded.
that's true.
So,
He's
I
advertised
know
though. He has an upcoming match on like one of their Impact Plus exclusives. Him against a guy I've done commentary for a lot, and he's wrestled a lot in Montreal, Channing Decker, who's
Yes.
awesome. And I hope he gets signed by Impact because he's really awesome.
This might be his tryout, basically. This is probably his tryout, basically.
Yeah. And
That's what it is.
I'm betting on this guy to kill it. Like, if I know anything about wrestling, he gets signed. That's my call. That's
Yeah.
my guarantee.
They filmed in
right now. Channing
they
Decker
filmed in
will be
Philly.
Impact signed.
They filmed in Philly this week. For this episode this week. Last weekend they were in Philadelphia filming. I know they brought Aiden Prince back, who's somebody we haven't
that's
seen
true,
in a few years.
Another guy. You know what? I think Aiden Prince was actually in the last match I did commentary for. Ever.
Oh yeah, he's a sick
Live.
wrestler.
He was
That guy's
good.
great.
He's good. The pandemic like kind of slowed down his momentum, I think, a bit, but now he's back on Impact. That's great.
Yeah. I think he's getting a contract too, probably. They've made some room recently. I think they're good because they said that they wanted to keep it fresh on a roll. Like that's what they want to do now. So I think they're signing guys to shorter term contracts, unless they're like a super mega star that they know, okay, this guy's who we build around, you know what I mean? Like Sam Callahan or whatnot, but that's why you see guys coming in and leaving and coming in and leaving. That's what they want to do, to keep themselves relevant. I mean, what else do you do when you're the number 3 company? I mean, that's what Doc Gallows said in that interview with Rocky Romero. They're the solid number 3 now that Ring of Honor is basically a part of AEW. They're not an indie company anymore. They're part of AEW. You're not a separate entity anymore. You're just a different TV show.
ROH was the number 2 wrestling company for about 4 months, and then AEW came along
and knocked them out completely.
Like ROH surpassed Ring of Honor. I mean, Ring of Honor surpassed Impact for literally about 4 months, and then
and then they just died off. The epidemic killed them.
Yeah.
Basically.
So let's get into some Impact news. Switch up our format a bit here. We had Machine Gun defeating Cody Deaner. So that feud rages on between the Good Brothers and Violence by Design.
By Design, yeah. That's coming up. That's boiling up to the next. Actually, it's next week. Tonight, tonight. Tonight is the rematch.
That should be something. Impact. Watch Impact tonight. Also, we'd like to mention that New Japan is now like new episodes. It's not recaps anymore. So watch Impact, then watch New Japan. That's a solid combo right there.
Yeah, it starts at 7:00. You have VTI before the Impact, which gives you a match or two. Now
I'm definitely going to watch it tonight. I got myself a new 65-inch TV.
Yeah. Lucky you.
Yeah, it's great. Gonna watch some New Japan on there.
Us poor people still have to settle for a 50-inch.
50-inch, dude. The 65-inch. The real problem with it, I was gonna go for a 50. because this thing, you can't fit it in any car to get it delivered. I had to get it off Amazon. I got 2 people to try to deliver it to help me get it with their cars. Big cars. It doesn't fit. It's ridiculous. It's almost like a joke how big it is. But yeah, it's quite something. So we had another good match here. The Motor City Machine Guns back together as we said they should do right here on the show. Taking on a team that I really enjoy, Jay White and Chris Bay together as a team for the Bullet Club.
Yeah, they're looking good. I like the Bullet Club. I like the Impact version of the Bullet Club. It's really cool.
I heard that one of the Tongans actually challenged Jay White. Like there's some kind of mutiny going on in the Bullet Club in Japan.
Yeah. Yes. And some guys are jumping on both sides. Some guys turned against the Tongans and jumped them in New Japan, like basically siding with Jay White. Basically, everybody who's not a Tongan.
That's pretty
turned.
Racist.
Yeah, in a way.
Where are they going to get more Tongans to settle the score here?
But there's
Bring
like
back
5
Barbarian.
There's like 5 of them though. There's Gorillas of Destiny, Hikuleu, Bad Luck Fail, and Ghetto. Yeah, because he's the other adopted brother. Yeah, of Ming. Yeah, so they're 5. I mean, that's a faction in itself.
They'll be cool. So, I mean, I think New Japan is due for like a shakeup of the roster. Not that I've been watching it that often, but I will watch it tonight, and we will cover it next week for sure.
Yeah, watch it because I heard Killer Cross is coming. He's selling shirts with New Japan on it.
Oh, I'm definitely watching that for sure.
That's where he's going.
I'm a big fan of Killer Cross, and he'll do great in New Japan for sure. I could see him becoming champion there for sure.
I'm a big fan of Killer Cross too. I believe he does stuff the right way. I understand why he stays by his wife's side and a lot of things that's happened with her. I mean, you side with New Japan Wrestling who have a working contract with Impact, and your wife says to people in interviews, "Oh, Impact, we're never going back there." But you sign with a company who has a working relationship with them. To me, it's like, just don't say anything.
Or who knows?
You know what I'm saying? Just don't say anything.
Yeah, you don't have to. Some people, they just talk too much, man. Like they say on Botchamania.
You know what I'm saying? And to me, sometimes that's why I wonder if what happened in NXT, like what people are all like, why did Killer Cross get cut? Why'd they stop using Scarlett? Sometimes I wonder, maybe, this is not a diss, it's a question. Maybe they are, maybe she's hard to deal with and he backs her. You know what I'm saying? He just goes with it. He's like, oh, if she leaves, then I'm leaving. If she leaves, then I'm leaving.
Sometimes that's not always the best thing, but it's not always maybe the best thing to always like work in the same thing, but like they're in it, man. I guess. I mean, relationships in wrestling, sometimes they don't mix, but it's not the 80s anymore, so at least there's that.
Yeah, exactly. But it's just a question I've been asking myself.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Like, I understand why they left Impact, and they did for the right reasons. Don Callis was being a weirdo and fucking money reasons and them deserving more money. I understand that. But then you go to another company, and the other company lets someone go.
With Impact. And they're playing on the same station, which is actually owned by Impact.
Exactly. It's kind of like you want to shut the fuck up sometimes. Just shut the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, just me. But watch New Japan. Moxley's there. Like, they're really shaking it up. There's a mix of a bunch of people coming in there. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We're definitely going to be keeping up with New Japan for sure.
Yeah.
So we won't go over all of Impact, but we'll say watch it tonight. Steve Macklin defeated Rhino.
Yeah.
I mean, perfect. Steve Macklin, what a guy. I'm a big fan of this guy. I've seen that he's taking a booking in JCW, which is the sister. It's like the NXT of GCW. I'd like to see Steve Macklin in GCW, which is one of my favorite feds, and he's one of my favorite fucking wrestlers these days.
So is it Juggalo Championship Wrestling?
Jersey.
Really?
It's no.
Oh, it's
That's what I thought it
Jersey
was
Pro.
first. That's what I thought
Okay.
it was first.
I was like, holy fuck, you went to Juggalo. Jesus Christ, man.
Yeah, I think Juggalo Wrestling, unfortunately, is RIP. But
Oh,
I
yeah.
suggest people to go out of their way and try to find some tapes of that and see
It's
how insane the
insane.
commentary is.
It's insane. It's insane.
And the booking was just like made no sense, and you'd have a lot of old guys.
Yeah, true that. True
But
that.
it was funny.
Madman
It was
Pondo.
very. It's worth
Shout
watching.
out to Madman Pondo.
Madman, yeah, they'd have hardcore, and then they'd have like Nikolai Volkov come out and have a match. Like, what? What is
Exactly. Followed by Masada.
this? Yeah, and the show would be at like 2 a.m.
Yeah.
outside.
In front of a bunch of drunk juggalos.
Yeah, no, but there was some cool gimmicks in JCW. I suggest people go check out. Um, Rest in peace, Trent Acid was like this fucking weird priest.
He was the face. He was the face of that company.
He was freaking awesome in it. And one of his like young choir boys was Silas Young. And if you go back and look at him, he looks so young compared to how he looks like such a man today that it's so fucking weird, man. There's a lot of moments like that.
He went from being the choir boy to the man's man.
Yeah, the last real man.
Yeah,
I got to do commentary with Silas Young once at NSPW back in the day, and I must say he was one of the coolest dudes. He was a real cool guy. Like he sat down beside me, and we were watching. There was an afternoon show, and we were watching it together, and just talking. He was cool. He really liked Quebec. I'm surprised he didn't come back more often. I'm surprised he's not signed somewhere. This guy should be in AEW.
Oh, he should be definitely. Like he has that sports entertainer attitude. Like he's a wrestler, but
I could see him like being good with FTR or something. As it like
exactly, he's like a throwback. He's a throwback to the '80s, late '80s, early '90s guys.
Yeah, just exactly.
Just a
I'm
tough
man. Just suck it up, son.
Exactly. He's great. He really is. He's a wasted talent to be sitting home right now and not in one of the major feds on television, in my book. So
some more TNA news, but going into the future here, because I just want to mention this a bit because I'm legit excited for this. I think this is more, I think I've mentioned this 3 weeks in a row, but TNA multiverse show, WrestleMania weekend, I think might be more interesting than like WrestleMania itself. Briscoes versus Good Brothers, right there.
That's worth the price of entry.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, more news from the NWA. Briscoes won the Crockett Cup. How fucking epic and how apropos is that? The Crockett Cup, classic fucking tournament. Anyone who has never seen some, go back and watch the 80s ones. They were so awesome. And the Briscoes, they had to win it one day.
Yeah, and the finals, that finals match, man, against Doug Williams and Harry Smith.
Yeah, that's it.
That was a sick version of what is their name over there? It's the British Invasion, I think. Again, they're using that angle, but yeah, man, wow. I was surprised because I didn't see the NWA the last few weeks. I didn't know that they interchanged Nick Aldis with Harry Smith since Nick Aldis has been feuding with Matt Cardona for the fucking world title.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't see that Harry Smith just slowly popped up in fucking NWA, and then you realize, Jesus Christ, this federation has some fucking talent. Chris Adonis, Harry Smith, Bram, Austin Aries. Like
I've met Harry Smith in real life. Not to name drop all these guys, but I also met the Briscoes on multiple occasions. And I'll say 2 quick things. Briscoes, so cool, so Southern, even though, Delaware is not that South. These guys are the most Southern people I think I've ever like spent an extended.
Well, they're like farm boys. They're not really
exactly.
Southern. They're farm. They're hillbillies, basically. They're farm boys.
They're really cool, man. Like them being in Montreal, trying to understand what French people are saying at the restaurant was just too hilarious, man.
They probably loved it. They probably laughed their asses off.
They did. They did.
It's a big culture shock to we don't realize sometimes
Like
to some
French?
Americans. Yeah,
They're
some
like, what
Americans
a
don't
random
fucking
language is
travel.
that?
Exactly, like to them it's a culture shock. Like what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like yeah. And Harris Harry Smith.
And Harry Smith, one of the scariest people I've ever met. Just the look on his eyes was just like scary. This guy, he just looks like he could hurt you. He looks like he could hurt anyone. Like and then before the show, he's doing like amateur wrestling with the guys, but like fucking like real,
Yeah.
Catch wrestling.
Yeah,
And then this guy's freaking grandfather's Stu Hart. I'm like, I respect this guy, but like from a distance, like I respect him. And I had to like help him out with his autograph signing. I was the one collecting his money for him. So like that was pretty fucking nerve-wracking. And not fucking
but to talk to, was he a nice guy? Like was he
polite?
polite?
But he was very serious.
Yeah.
He had that
Like
Western Canada yeah.
Yeah.
Serious. Very serious. Very serious dude. He wasn't like laid back whatsoever.
Well, anybody who has balls to slap Jake the Snake Roberts at an autograph signing at a
Comic-Con, he doesn't look like, he wasn't he's not a laid back guy. Some people are not laid back, and he was
no, like
he did not have the laid back vibe at all.
No, really. No, Teddy Hart either. His cousin either. I heard
I never got to meet him, unfortunately. You know what? Teddy Hart, for all his insanity, honestly, is one of maybe my top 10 favorite wrestlers of all time. A lot of people are like, are you crazy? I'm like, have you seen some of his matches when this guy was in his prime?
He's insane. Go back and watch Wrestling Society. The MTV produced. The fucking guy, like him, Luke Hawx, Jack Evans, man, the shit that they were doing was crazy.
One of my guilty pleasures of all life is, I must say, MTV. And when they mixed MTV with Wrestling Society X, I was like, life cannot get better. And when they canceled it, I was so freaking disappointed.
I cried. I didn't understand. I was
they
like,
didn't even show the last episodes of the season.
No, and then when you try to go to the website to see it for a while, you couldn't see it. You couldn't click on the last, I think it was 2 or 3 episodes.
Yeah, exactly.
And then they said, "Oh, we're going to be back for season 2 of
They never did.
Yeah, they never did, and they had a crazy roster. Man.
Yeah, and on MTV. I remember that was like around the time MTV had first come to Canada, unless you had like illegal satellite. Because before that, we only had like Much Music, but then they had MTV Canada, and they didn't have that much programming. So they would play it a lot. Like they'd play it at night. I remember even sometimes seeing it in the morning.
Yeah, really early in the morning.
Crazy matches, like crazy explosions. They would do post-production, like add in fire, like effects over. It was freaking insane.
It was insane.
They had an awesome roster though.
Vampiro, Judas Messias, Vic, Grimes, 1, 2, 3 Kid, Colt Cabana, Teddy Hart, Jack Evans, Joey Ryan before he was a pedophile, before he was a sex offender, Matt Cross, Jesus, man.
Just an awesome, like the most awesome. I think they had Sabu.
Yeah, they had Sabu for a few matches.
Awesome. Yeah. Oh, they had X-Pac.
Yeah, that's it. They had Sean Waltman. Yeah, he was there. Yeah.
Just
Incredible. Just Incredible and New Jack also. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. They had a sick lineup. Yeah. Worth watching. It was worth watching. Homicide. Homicide was there for a while too. Yeah.
I used to have a Homicide t-shirt. I don't know where it went, but it was maybe the most fucking thug item of clothing I've ever owned in my life.
Oh man, those guys from New York are pretty intense though. Him, Eddie Kingston, Loki, they all come from the same neighborhood or whatnot.
They're all trained in the same place. They're trained by the great WWF jobber, Johnny Rods.
Yeah. But I'll tell you one thing about Johnny Rods. The guys that go to his school, man, you don't joke around with. They were serious. They are serious. They will beat your ass backstage. Like, do not say the wrong thing around them, make a gang sign, do a.
You know who I find is like the next gen version of those guys? And he's also from New York, so he fits in right there. Fucking Chris Dickinson. And he's also been teaming with Homicide. What a fucking team.
Oh, Chris Dickinson needs another guy
Another
that needs
guy
to be
I've met in real life, and I'll tell you, this guy is a fucking legit New York badass. That's all I'm gonna say.
He is. He looks like it. He looks like he could whoop your ass without
Yeah, he's a real fucking man. He wants talking about fucking football, baseball, you know.
Well,
Legit.
New Yorkers talking about the Yankees and
That's
the
it. He
fucking
wanted to know the
Giants and the
Yankees
Jets.
score for sure. I seen some Yankees games back in my day, and I'll tell you, the Yankees aren't what they used to be, ladies and gentlemen, when they had A-Rod. So let's get into some Dynamite here. The first
Dynamite,
match,
what an episode.
Yeah, it was. It was. I mean, just the first two matches, I was like, damn, starting it off hot.
It was fire. The whole show was just fire after fire after fire. I was like sitting there and I said to myself, this is a fucking pay-per-view.
Yeah, and they're even they're booking the matches in more of an old school way, which I find is a better storytelling thing, a better way of telling a story. Like, here, let's start from the bottom and we'll review to the top. The main event, okay, Jericho and Garcia against Silver and Reynolds. I think I've made it clear before that I don't find Silver, or especially Reynolds, should be anywhere near a freaking main event of your main show. And they've been in, this is probably like their 10th main event. That being said, this was a good match, and I find that they used a lot of old school. It felt like a NWA 89 on TBS match, not 2022.
That's what I was saying to myself when I was watching it last night. I said to myself, I feel like I'm watching Monday Night Raw in 1997 right now.
Yeah.
That's what I feel like.
And I'll say, at the beginning of that match, I was like, fuck, I don't want to see the Dark Order in the main event, but they totally changed my mind by the end of it.
Well, the fact that there was only 4 of them ringside altogether, I thought, first of all, that was a breath of fresh air. Having 13 guys, how they move around as a big fucking gang to catch people on the side of the ring.
Like the Horde in fucking Halo.
Like the Minions. They're like the fucking Minions. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and now that they're face, they literally basically are just minions.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like they're the Minions. That's what they are. But when there was only 4 of them there, I thought it was good. Silver and Reynolds have great tag team chemistry. You can't take that away from them. They've been tagging together for fucking, 10 years now, I think, if you count the indies that they were in together all the time. They've always been together.
Yeah,
they were in Shane, they were in Shane Douglas's Extreme Rising company or whatever it was a few years ago as a tag team. So that's how long they've been teaming together. The fluidity of the match, man. And Daniel Garcia,
impressive.
He makes it look like it hurts.
Yeah.
And hey, you got to give it to 2.0 for the promo. The faces. Yeah, man,
these guys are on fire. Promo. Especially Matt Lee. He's like, if it was up to me, there'd be no Judas.
Yeah, you should appreciate that he lets you sing his song, right? Like a fucking total jerk. When they were going, there's nobody behind the curtains. Are they Saxon? Are they behind the curtains over here? No, they're not behind the curtains over here. These guys are great. Man, it felt good to see them. They're shining. They're getting their moment and they're jumping on it, and they're really seizing the moment right now. And definitely, I give that.
Yeah. The Jericho Appreciation Society is going very well, I think. Very, very proud of 2.0. How great they're
so
doing.
So much better than the Inner Circle. By the way, let's just take a moment to say it's so refreshing and so much better.
I think they have better chemistry right off the bat than the Inner Circle did.
Because these guys look more like they fit together.
Yeah.
Less like the Inner Circle is kind of like, okay, but first of all, why is Santa and Ortiz with Jericho? Like, it doesn't make sense. No. Not because they're Latino and he's white. It's just
the
in
generation
the wrestling
gap. They represent the youth. Even Sammy
You know,
Guevara, but Sammy Guevara, it was good because he was kind of like he didn't have a
and
name yet.
arrogant, and he was arrogant. If you're
Yeah,
gonna put somebody with Jericho, it has to be arrogance. You
yeah,
can't put, you know, and I think that's what this team has right now. It's a bunch of arrogant assholes together, which is great. That's what you want if you want a bunch of heels. They're a bunch of arrogant fucking pricks with
yeah.
arrogant prick faces. They have prick faces. You want to slap them. You know what I'm saying? But you can't because they're big. So you know what I'm saying?
Big
That's what,
Magic, he
you know?
definitely like perfected that fucking. This guy can go pure heel. Like I've
Yeah.
seen him. Like I've seen crowds want to kill this guy in Montreal. Like he's not the kind of heel who wanted to go out there and look cool to get cheered. He wanted to go get his heat, and he would get his fucking heat.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. But if you're gonna be a heel, that's what. But see, then you could be Austin Aries, and look what's happened to him in his life
Yeah.
because he wanted to do that. Sometimes
I mean more
being,
on like the
heel-
MJF level. Like he's gonna go out there and be a real heel, not try to be cool, you know.
no, he's gonna be Austin. You book Austin Aries, you're gonna get Austin Aries. You're never gonna meet Mark unless you call him and he's like, oh hey Mark, we're gonna do an interview with Mark today. And then he tells you, oh, you know, when I'm this guy, I did this, I do this. You know what I'm saying?
Or if you
Otherwise, you're
happen to be like his landscaper and you're like, so let me get a quote for that mulch
exactly.
job in the backyard there.
Exactly. Otherwise, you're getting Austin Aries, and you're going to get an arrogant fucking prick. He's going to make you remember when he leaves. You're going to be like, "Holy fuck, he really is a fucking prick." But to
Yeah.
him,
But
he
unfortunately,
you
he's
know,
probably his own worst enemy.
that's it. But hats off to the NWA for giving him a chance again.
For
I love
sure. For
Austin
sure.
as a performer, and you know what I mean. Like we all make mistakes in life. I mean, okay, so he stood on the second rope with his dick in the fucking face of Christy Hemme. He wasn't naked. He didn't pull it out. It's not the end of the goddamn world. It shouldn't be the end of his wrestling career. And on top of it, she said it was okay. He apologized to her. Like, get over it. Book him. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's one of the best in the world. Like, fucking get over it, you know?
Yeah, apparently
Okay, back to
people
Dynamite.
think he's like hard to deal with or whatnot, but he's great in the ring. So we'll see. It's great that there's like multiple places for people to work because like even up to like 2010, if you were not in WWE or Impact, the highest paid guy at the time in Ring of Honor was Austin Aries, and he was making a grand a fucking week. He was the highest paid guy. So like there
Yeah.
was no money to be made in the indies even fucking 12 years ago. Some people can't appreciate that, but that's the
Mm,
fucking truth.
mm,
It's crazy. Now you
yeah.
got Impact, you got Ring of Honor, we got NWA, and then there's other indies like GCW, even the indies around here. Like even like 10 years ago, most of them didn't pay anybody. The owner would just put the money in his pocket and it wouldn't even be like that much.
No, because he
Now,
had to pay for
like,
the place and
shit's
everything.
getting
So,
better. Shit's getting better.
yeah. That's back to Dynamite.
Yeah. Legit Layla Hirsch beat Red Velvet with using a turnbuckle from under the ring. I thought that was pretty cool old school heel move, you know?
Yeah. It was. She had it she hit it in her trousers,
Yeah.
pretended she was going to use the other
Yeah, she
turnbuckle,
had two.
distracted the referee. She had two. Yeah, I mean, it was a decent match. I mean, these two girls aren't the best women's wrestlers in the world, but they're good. I couldn't not. I didn't turn the channel. You know, I didn't get up and get something to drink. I watched the match. I mean, they're talented. It was a good match. I
I
mean,
think honestly, if you have two wrestlers that are not like okay, and you know what, both these women wrestlers are like actually pretty decent, I would say, but say they're not like as over as say other people on the card like Daniel Bryan or Adam Cole, for example. So you're gonna have two like mid-level wrestlers. It doesn't matter if it's women or men. I think what they did here, you don't make it too long. Make sure that everything in the match works, though. All your moves are good, but you get 5 minutes, and then do an ending like this, where the heel just does something fucking heelish, instead of just maybe like, instead of hitting their finisher and winning, developing character like this, telling a story like this, it's 10 times more interesting. It's 10 times more memorable. If they just ended it with like whatever Layla Hirsch's finisher was, I wouldn't even remember it by today.
No, exactly. I wouldn't have paid attention. But the fact that they had what's her name come out, distraction, you know what I'm saying? The Chris Statler.
Yeah, exactly. The feud goes on.
The feud goes on. She's updated her costume a bit. She's killed off the alien. I saw that on Twitter or whatever. So she's going to be more serious and whatnot. I mean, so they have a little something now. These three who have talent as women wrestlers, you know what I mean? So they're good. I mean, good for them. I mean, yeah, they got their moment to shine in a mid-card situation, and the match was good. It was a good match.
Yeah, it really turned out pleasantly good. We had before that Jay Lethal against Adam Cole in like a they were like talking so much about Ring of Honor in this match, it felt like it might as well be a Ring of Honor match. But it was a good match. I can't complain. I don't know. I would say Adam Cole definitely shined. He's definitely a big star here. So yeah, it was like a Ring of Honor tribute match with Cole against Lethal. At least we see Lethal on Dynamite.
Finally. And people went crazy when he came out. But something I don't understand again is their rankings. How can Jay Lethal be higher ranked than Cole? They go the number 3 ranked Jay Lethal.
Because they're counting matches on Dark as important as matches on Dynamite, which makes no sense.
Exactly. But because I haven't been able to watch Rampage for like 2-3 weeks. And in my head, I was like, shit, has Jay Lethal been stacking up wins on Rampage? And I haven't been. So he surpassed the guy who got a world title shot at the last pay-per-view. Okay.
The rankings are definitely like questionable to say the least.
But the match itself was bar none amazing. Like
Cole gets the win. And what do you think of Cole stealing the AEW title? I find it was like, it's so reminded me of like a young Shawn Michaels for some reason. Well, he reminds me everyone of a young Shawn Michaels, but it was such a young Shawn Michaels-ish thing to do.
He does. He's this generation's Shawn Michaels. And that was a Shawn Michaels thing to do because Shawn Michaels used to do that all the time. Steal a title. And then you say to yourself, yeah, but you're still technically not the winner. You can't just take the belt. But it's just babyish
for it.
Heel, Yeah, it's that heelish temper tantrum, my belt.
I'm just going to take this then.
Yeah, I'm just going to take it now because it's mine anyways. But yeah, it's pushing the art of heel, So Adam Cole doing it. Him, Kyle O'Reilly, and Bobby Fish. They're fucking awesome. Can't wait to see if Roderick Strong finally decides to rip his contract up.
Oh my God. We got to mention this. Roderick Strong has been found. We can take him off the milk carton. He has been sent to NXT UK.
Wow. Nothing better than sending an American to the European promotion.
Some guy from Florida who has a family here.
Yeah. And they did that. They did that to Chris Hero too. And
then axed him.
And then they axed him. It was like, oh yeah, you're going over there. Don't worry, man. You're gonna help with the developmental over there. You're gonna help them get better. Oh, okay. Yeah, you're gonna love it. We got you a nice apartment over there.
And then when you get there, I mean, yeah, but like that's no. I'm sure it's only a matter of time. But that sucks though, really, for him. And they broke up, like he was with that Malcolm Bivens guy. He's not with him anymore. Whatever they were doing with him, they just totally ruined Roderick Strong's push. And he decides, well, maybe his contract was longer. But if he decided to stay, and then they're like, yeah, you're going to stay, but because all your friends leave, fuck you, we're sending you to NXT UK. Yeah, that's such a dick move.
But that's so WWE to do that, though. And I'm not saying
Petty
Vince.
bullshit.
It might not be Vince. That's the worst thing about it. It might be the stupid assholes under him that we don't even know their fucking names.
There you
These
go.
dick,
Exactly.
like Mark Carano used to be a part of those fucking dickheads. I hate that guy.
Johnny
Like
Laurinaitis.
John Laurinaitis, like just a bunch of little
Johnny
dickheads
Ace.
walk around and they take, oh, they're so vindictive, you know? Oh, well, you didn't want to do that. You didn't want to take my money. So fuck you. I'm going to piss on you. I'm going to keep your t-shirt sales. You know, like stupid little fucking baby fucking promoter moves. Like, and I think that's the biggest problem in the WWE. It's not Vince McMahon. It's not Triple H. It's not Stephanie.
It's
It's
like
not
the
Shane.
culture in general.
It's the culture and these guys that they hire under them that come into WWE and think that it needs to be run like a New York business where if you sneeze the wrong way, you're a fucking asshole. I'm the manager, kiss my ass. And it's a very poisonous fucking environment that there is there. Like, and it's not by the wrestlers.
Accounts.
It's created by these fucking underling employees that work there. These power trip fucking, you know, people that work there that deal with the writing and the production and shit. I don't know, man.
Yeah,
But,
definitely. But before that, we got a Dan Lambert promo where he's now like the co-TNT champion.
okay.
This guy's just gold every time he's on the mic.
Is he not? Is he not? What did he call the people from the town from Austin, Texas? He said fucking, man, he insulted them. Like, I couldn't believe it. I was like, man, he's looking for heat. Like, and we have to say, he came after MJF in the show, and MJF destroyed Austin, Texas.
MJF's promo was like right before his. It was like
they were competing. Yeah, it was like they were competing. How can we insult this crowd to piss them the fuck off? And they did. They called him inbred, sister loving. He said
that Paige Van Zandt got it in her contract that she didn't have to appear in like shit towns like Austin, Texas.
Yeah, that's it. Shit towns.
Something like that. It was more clever than that. I can't pull off the cleverness.
No, it actually was that. That's exactly what it was. That's exactly what it was. It was that. Man, what a promo. Dan Lambert, man.
Yeah.
And even Sammy Guevara's promo after about what he said, if you knew what we were doing with that belt, you wouldn't be kissing it right now.
Yeah, Sammy Guevara came out, had like a pretty decent promo with him and Ty Conti. I find it looks good. They look like hip young people, you know?
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
They can pull that off. And then, so then MJF comes out and delivers another stiff heel promo. But then, as we were saying, Sammy would like maybe the line of the night.
Yeah, if you know what we were doing with that title the other night.
Yeah,
as
Sammy
Dan Lambert
saying that to Dan Lambert. Yeah.
Yeah, as he's kissing the title.
Exactly.
Like,
he's kissing the title, and,
that said,
you wouldn't only know that we're renting. We don't not only renting space in your head.
Yeah,
we're renting space in your mouth.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and to me, that right there is what I mean when I say I felt like I was watching Raw in 1997, because the stuff that they were saying was the stuff that McMahon was approving back in those days. He was like, give them alternative, give them hardcore, give them, you know, say anything, get them mad, get them pissed, tell them to fuck off. I don't care. You know what I mean? Use language. Yeah. And then they went from that to what they are now today. So I like it that Tony Khan is like, listen, we're on cable TV, you know, that we've got the okay.
Here. Yeah, it's like WWE, they self-censor themselves.
Yeah, it's what it is. It's self-censorship.
Look at the shit people are watching today on TV. It's insane.
It is insane. Even the stuff that's for younger people.
Just Netflix, as an example, it's like fully uncensored. You never know what you're going to watch on there. Like, is there going to be a titty here? Is there going to be a motherfucker there? It's all good.
Exactly. It's all good, you know? So I like that AEW is really going risque. They're letting guys like, here's the microphone. Say what the fuck you want to say. Just say it. Get a pop, you know? And last night, it was pop after pop after pop after pop, promo, pop after pop after pop in the matches, pop after. That's why I was saying, I was like, Jesus Christ. This wrestling hasn't been as entertaining as this since it was the 90s, man. It hasn't been this entertaining.
They're definitely hitting their stride here. Like,
Yeah.
I would say even like when we started this show at the beginning of the year, like in January, the product was not as nearly as good as it is now.
No, it's like we were saying, oh, they should start off like this. They shouldn't start off with this. And it's like the production team, as their production team has gotten better with their
Yeah.
writers, and now they're now working as a full unit together more smoothly. So now the TV show is like, "Pat, it's on fire." You know what I mean? It's like, okay, now this all makes sense.
Yeah, it
There's no
feels
like,
more like
yeah,
put together properly. Yeah.
exactly.
So we
So yeah,
had Moxley and Danielson defeat the Varsity Blondes.
man, and a discouraging match for the Varsity Blondes,
Yeah,
man.
really. I
I
mean,
mean,
these
even
guys, they were pushing them not that long ago.
I
And
think they
here,
realize that. I think they realize that maybe they're not ready. I think that's the problem. They're just too green. They're talented young boys. Pillman's got so much potential, but they took him out of Major League Wrestling way too early. He was
yeah,
still learning to wrestle on television. He hadn't done that many pay-per-views yet in his life. And then that Dark Side of the Ring came on, put him on it, and then that shot him up even more. He went from, oh, look, it's Brian Pillman's kid. He's coming up. He's good. He's in Major League Wrestling. He's good, Go check him out. To all of a sudden, he's in AEW. Pow. Now he's center stage, And then you can tell sometimes, you know what I mean? Like, oh,
yeah.
okay, you know, oh, he's
No, yeah,
green. And the other
he
guy,
he he could use some more experience maybe. And I don't know. I don't know.
you know,
And I don't really love the gimmick, but it
uh,
leaves an opening for them to like get more serious. It's a gimmick as if
exactly.
they're like in college and they're. So maybe they could like.
Yeah.
So I hope.
Graduate.
Yeah, exactly. Hopefully it turns out working out. But yeah, right
Yeah.
now, Varsity Blondes, I'm not a big fan right now. But Mox and
No,
Danielson looked really good in it, I would say.
man. The most unstoppable. At the end of the day, like they are the best tag team. Just because the fact that they're two of the best wrestlers in the world from two different complete styles. You got one guy who can endure pain like crazy and whoop your fucking ass, and you got the best technical wrestler in the world, man. That like strong style,
It's
fucking,
such a strange team, but it's intriguing. It's really intriguing.
you know.
But it's a fucking high paid team. Like these are two of your highest paid guys on your roster.
And
You got to make
Regal
the
is the
best of this
manager.
year.
I mean, and
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. And you got Regal managing them. That's a
that's
lot of
it.
money. That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
That's a
So
lot of pain. That's a lot of pain. That's three mean motherfuckers, man. Like to hurt. Like that's why when I look at this, I'm like, you cannot not put the tag titles on them. You
yeah,
can't put these
definitely.
guys together and not put the titles on them. You have to. It's just a matter of time. Like
I see them
who
definitely like going up against the Jericho Appreciation Society coming up because it's like going to be pro wrestling against sports entertainment.
sports entertainment. Exactly. That's an optional build up for that situation. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah.
We had an awesome 4v4 8-man tag, no DQ. This one was like a
Tornado
pay-per-view match. Sting is still insane. Jeff Hardy still
is
insane.
insaner.
Yeah. What a team. The
Jeff
Hardy
Hardy.
Boys, Darby Allin and Sting.
Okay. First of all, let's give props where props are due to the Hardy Boys last night because they looked great.
Yeah.
They haven't
Matt
looked,
Hardy finally back to what we need here.
you know what I'm saying? Like speed wise, health wise, I'd say last night, when you get to that age, these guys will have off nights. Hip hurts, knee hurts. He's not going to be as fast in the ring anymore. You know what I'm saying? Last night, that was 100% of them.
Yeah.
They were there. They were
It was
fast.
an awesome match. It really felt like a pay-per-view match. It really felt like all the time they invested in this feud, which some of it felt like, oh my God, this is long. It paid off.
Yeah,
It finally paid off.
it did.
One thing I'll say is like they're using Andrade kind of in a weird way here. Like he's a freaking manager. This guy's one of your best guys wrestling wise you got, but at least he's getting on the show, but it's a weird way to be booking him.
It's a weird way. It makes me wonder, maybe he has an injury and he's just not disclosed it. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he's got a bad back right now. It doesn't need an operation, but the doctor might have said, okay, look, for the next 4 or 5 months, he should take it easy. You know what I'm saying, or whatnot. Yeah. So now they got him managing. He can come down. He can get a little bit involved, but he can't go all out and be Andrade right now because maybe he's got a bad back, knee, bum, shoulder. Something's healing. Because it would be ridiculous that he's not getting any wrestling matches.
Exactly. That's exactly what I'm thinking. So
unless he's hurt, he's actually hurt. In my book, that's what I think it is. He's probably resting a small injury, that just needs resting, Yeah. So in my
problem. It could be.
Yeah.
So, but we'll check more into that. But it was an awesome match. Really awesome. One of the coolest hardcore matches I think on Dynamite that they've had.
Well, they called it a tornado tag, which is big in AAA in Mexico. That's Mexican wrestling. Tornado tags is basically no tag needed. I mean, but the difference is with a real tornado tag match is that you still have to keep it at least around the goddamn ring. Like these motherfuckers, like tornado tag. It's not a tornado tag. It's a hardcore no disqualification match. You guys were backstage near catering. Like
jumping off the rafters and Jeff Hardy was just completely insane. Jumping off some
tornado
like 30
tag.
feet structure.
I understand why they wanted to use the term tornado tag because they were like, okay, we're just gonna have guys jumping around everywhere, and somebody probably said, "You mean like a tornado tag match?" Yeah,
exactly.
Let's just call it a tornado tag match to not use or emphasize the word hardcore too much because we've been using hardcore too much lately. So let's say tornado tag. But great match nonetheless.
Yeah. And the show started out with Punk versus Dax Harwood. And it seemed like I thought FTR was distancing themselves from MJF, but during MJF's promo later on in the night, but as we had mentioned earlier, he's apparently still with FTR.
I would have thought that personally, as a booker or as a writer, I would have split it off. I would have said MJF and fucking Pantyhose Boy need to stay together because they go well together.
Yeah.
Like Sean Spears is good at being an asshole, because he, what I mean? At being
he's a good little like secondary guy who can take the beating too once in a while, and it won't hurt MJF's credibility.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, they should just keep the two. Break off FTR, get MJF and Sean Spears to stay together, get a manager or something for them to be involved in that whole thing. They don't need to have a faction, and it doesn't fit with FTR. Because FTR seem like they're trying to be, it's almost like they're trying to go babyface.
Yeah, that's what it felt like last week.
And this week, too, when they were talking before the match, this is my brother, he's going to go out there, he's going to give his best, that's shit that a babyface team or just, or not necessarily babyface, but just, a team that fans like, they're not necessarily good guys, but, they're there to do one thing,
more
take names and kick
heel, yeah.
More face than heel.
So it's kind of weird. That's weird. That was like one weird thing, I would say. But we'll see.
Yeah, exactly. But as far as the match went, man, Dax is a great wrestler.
He is. I was watching this with one of my friends, and she said his mustache looks like a fake mustache. It looks like a costume mustache.
Exactly.
He has a very heelish look.
He does. They're great. I mean, the top guys. I like it when they say we're the top guys. We're the best ones in the world. Like I won't say it's hard to say who's the best tag team in the world because there's like 10 teams.
These days, there's a lot of good teams for sure.
There's a lot of good teams, and there's at least 10 teams that you could almost say, well, when they're on top, they're the best in the world.
Yeah, they could have, you could argue about 10.
And they're all spread around the multiverse of federations, some are in New Japan.
So then you can never really prove it. Like, are the Good Brothers ever going to wrestle the Usos?
You know what I'm saying?
Why not?
Exactly. Or the Usos against, God. You know what I'm saying? The
Yeah,
Toggins against the Samoans. Like, you know what
we
I'm
want to
saying?
see
Like,
that, but
you
we
want to
won't.
see, you want to see the Briscoes versus FTR. You know, you want to see,
We
you
are
want
going
to
to
see,
see that. Briscoes versus
you know,
FTR has been announced for Super Card of Honor WrestleMania weekend, which that and the Impact Multiverse show are probably going to
it's
be
gonna be sick.
awesome. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day,
They're
it
not
does
all
the
going to be
win.
able to wrestle each other. That's it. Exactly.
Exactly. Pentagon and Phoenix. You know what I'm saying? Could be there too.
Yeah.
What's their names? The ones that are the NWA tag team champions. The guy that used to be called Mr. 450, Mecha Wolf. Mecha Wolf and his brother, the Bestia 666, La Revolucion. Like those guys have
Yeah.
been,
True. Yeah.
no, they've been, it's just because their English is not that good, is the only thing that's kept them back from getting a contract in Impact or in AEW for sure. Because they've been in America for the last 5 to 10 years at a lot of shows, and guys have been like, "Yo, did you see Bestia 666? Like, he's crazy, man, but they can't talk. They only speak Spanish. You know, Mecha Wolf speaks English a little bit, but man, like,
Yeah. They can get around that. I mean, that's like a booker. That's more on the booker, I would say,
yeah, exactly. Find them a manager. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? That's what they should do. You know, but yeah, so many teams, man, so many. You
Yeah.
know,
So yeah, so
fuck.
overall, yeah, it was a great match, and that was a great way to start off Impact. I mean, Dynamite. There's so
Yeah,
many matches that could have been a main event on this show, but yeah, overall, one of the better Dynamite
one of the better
episodes.
shows. Yeah, one of the better episodes of Dynamite for sure, for sure, for sure. From start to finish, yeah, definitely,
Yeah.
definitely, totally worth
So,
watching.
who would you give your thumbs up of the week or gold star of the week? Can pick multiple guys. I'm gonna give mine this week. Seal of approval to Dan Lambert. Too hilarious. So entertaining.
Dan, Dan Lambert gets one gold star. MJF gets a star
Yeah.
for making his loss with CM Punk like, who cares? Did you hear what he said last night?
Yeah.
Like,
Saying, and yeah, we'll end on this because we didn't mention this. Maybe the most controversial part of Impact of Dynamite. MJF says to Wardlow, he said he's gonna kick him and his mom out of their house.
yeah,
He says he's gonna starve him out. He's gonna try to ruin his career. Like this storyline is keep going, and he says he's gonna nail him to a cross like Jesus.
yeah, yeah. And he said skank mom. Didn't he call his mom a skank or
Yeah,
something?
I
He
think
said your
so. Yeah,
skank ass
yeah,
mom. Said you and your skank ass mom are gonna hate every day of your life because I own you. AEW doesn't own you. I own you. I'll pay for you even to stay home.
yeah,
I'll pay you. I
exactly.
don't care, but you're staying home. Bye bye. And
And
then
then
they had the
Wardlow got taken
security.
away.
Yeah, like gold star to MJF
Yeah, that's gonna be
for that performance.
MJF is definitely like on a top level right now, man. This guy is killing it, man. He really is.
Second gold star, I'll give to Jeff Hardy for
Oh
looking
yeah.
Jeff Hardy-ish, and once again sacrificing his body in the name of people screaming his name off the top of a ledge onto a table onto two guys lying there
And
as Sting.
proving to everyone that he still can do this shit. Like he can do so much more than they were like making him do in WWE. He was just wasting his time there.
Yeah,
Well, he was
he
getting
really
paid.
was.
So hey, it's not really a waste of
Yeah,
time
he's
when you're
getting
getting
paid,
paid
but
millions
yeah,
of dollars,
you know,
but
but exactly,
yeah.
exactly. It's you know,
So ladies and
and
gentlemen, I think we'll leave it on that note for this week for Pro Wrestling Tonight here on IndieQuebec.com. The words of wisdom: it's not a waste of time if you're making millions of dollars. Good night, folks.
never. Good night.